Boy, Donald Trump is moving fast. The week after the election, he's now picked more of the senior team he's going to take into government. And they're all really like the ones I went through yesterday. Tough, you know. Although, I wonder at the experience of Trump's incoming Secretary of Defense, who'll be overseeing the mighty US military, the world's biggest military force. He's Pete Hegseth, who's just 44, co-host on Fox News and a friend of Donald Trump. Now, it's true, he does have military service, but he rose to no more than infantry captain in the Army National Guard, just the captain in the National Guard, although he did serve in Afghanistan and Iraq and, you know, performed very well by all accounts. Now, this retired captain is now going to be in charge of generals and admirals, and he has a radical anti-woke agenda.
DOD employees are going to have to take mental health days tomorrow with this news because Pete Hegseth is dedicated to taking wokeism out of the military, which if you love the U.S. military and you love this country, you have to do. They've been distracted. We live in a very dangerous world, and he's vowed to get rid of generals. He doesn't care who you are, but if you're distracted from the mission to take care of your virtue signaling and your wokeism, he wants you out of there.
I kind of hope he's going to be more focused on China and things like that. But anyway, at least it's a good contrast to what's going on here, where the Albanese government has got our defence forces to write down its plans to go net zero emissions. You know, and the Army's Defence Force saying, oh, look, we'll explore using, for instance, electric Bushmaster vehicles and all that kind of nonsense. Joining me on Culture Wars is Rowan Dean, Editor-in-Chief of The Spectator Australia, and host of Outsiders here on Sundays at 9 a.m. Rowan, our defence bosses have declared war on the climate. Trump's has declared war on woke. Which is closest to getting a military that will actually fight?
Well, definitely the war on woke has to be won. And what Donald Trump is doing, Andrew, it's astonishing. We are living in the most extraordinary times at the moment. This is a pivotal moment in Western history. Donald Trump ain't mucking around. So this appointment and all his other appointments, what he is doing is he's putting in place people who, in my opinion, he's putting in place people who can carry on his fight even if he ain't there. And when I say even if he ain't there, let's not forget there have been 2 assassination attempts on him already. There's all that lawfare stuff. They tried endlessly to put him in prison. So it could be a grim he's not there, or it could be a positive he's not there, that he's put all the right people in place so he can go to the golf course at Mar-a-Lago and enjoy himself. But the key thing here, Andrew, is the mistake we now know that Donald Trump made in his first term was he actually went for people who were the normal suspects from Washington, from the swamp and so on, these characters who were didn't really understand Trump's agenda. The people he's now surrounding himself with absolutely understand what Donald Trump has to achieve and the mountain they have to climb to get there. We are living in a period when the Western world has basically caved in to this quasi-socialist woke agenda, which is metastasized throughout every institution, throughout our schools, our universities, most corporations, certainly all the big institutions of government. And Donald Trump has 4 years to dismantle a lot of this woke garbage, including the climate change cult, which is destroying industries throughout the West, emboldening China, giving riches to the rest of the world while we impoverish ourselves. That's just a tiny part of the agenda. Donald Trump is determined to do what he set out to do originally, and he's putting in place the most phenomenal team. It's a Renaissance team. It's every individual there is committed to the Trump agenda, and he's going to see it through, and they will see it through. The
contrast is amazing,
even if he ain't around.
Well, the first time around, he was a stranger to Washington, didn't know many people. It took him ages to appoint the team. He had a number of duds, people who weren't on the page as first, his page as first defence secretary and others. People that actually were against him, worked against him, like his chief of staff, one of his chief of staff, John Kelly, or Rex Tillerson as first secretary of state. This time, bang, they're ready for action a week after the election. He's also appointed former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee as his ambassador to Israel. Rowan, you can bet your house there's going to be no more nagging of Israel about, these settlements on the West Bank. If Mike Huckabee, what is said about the Palestinian West Bank in the past is any guide, giving it the name of the ancient Jewish kingdoms that used to be there.
There is no such thing as a West Bank. It's Judea and Samaria. There's no such thing as a settlement. They're communities, they're neighborhoods, they're cities. There's no such thing as an occupation.
Bit hard to miss the direction that is forging on Israel.
100%. And again, Trump is going to bring peace to the Middle East because he's slayed the kind of dragon that has doomed both Palestinians and Israelis to live in this permanent conflict. And this is the idea that the settlements are illegal somehow. This is the idea that there should be two states side by side. There were two states. Jordan is the Palestinian state and Israel is the Jewish state. That's what the original intention was. That is what is going to be restored under Trump. And again, you can only do this if you are prepared to tackle the way the left have used language, settlements, West Bank, all these terminologies. Judea, Samaria is what that land is, and it's the home of the Jews. Judea, bit of a clue in the name, I always say. And the only way you can bring peace is to face the reality that those settlements are there. There are communities within Israel equally. There must be places for the Palestinians. That land exists. It's called Jordan. And away we go. We can have peace in the Middle East because all the other options, the Penny Wong option to the Middle East has been a catastrophic failure. The entire Albanese team, by the way, Andrew, is completely now out of step with what the direction America and the West are going in. If we stick with Albanese, we are hobbling ourselves, we are dragging ourselves backwards. The world is going forward, the West is going forward. The entire Albanese, Chalmers, Wong, Miles agenda is completely out of step with where Donald Trump is going. So if Australia wants to be successful, if we want to be up there in the driving seat with America, we have to ditch the entire Albanese failed experiment, get the coalition on board and go full steam ahead, pull out of Paris, go full steam ahead, make our industries as great as they can be. Let's make Australia great again. That's what we can do. We have the ability as the Australian people to do just that.
You're right. You're right to say, the Kingdom of Judea, which was essentially the West Bank, even the Arabic word for Jew, Yahud, it comes from the word Judea. It recognises the Jews were there first. Not that they want to say it.
Not difficult.
But they're not going to take Israel's not going to. Israel won't want all that territory because they're just then going to buy a demographic time bomb. They will be outbred in their own country if they take all the Palestinians there inside Israel. That's not going to happen. But they do want some of it for security. Trump has also appointed Elon Musk, the world's richest man. It's just amazing, these appointments. Elon Musk is now the boss of X and Tesla, co-head of a new Department of Government Efficiency, along with entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, I'm not so sure how two headstrong men like that are going to co-lead this department, but Musk promises that all their decisions are going to be posted on X. People can then post their own tips, telling him what should be cut, what shouldn't be. What do you make of this?
I love it. Absolutely love it. By the way, a friend of mine pointed out the department. Another brilliant appointment. And again, to slay the woke dragon, Elon Musk, brilliant. Vivek Ramaswamy, superb. A friend of mine pointed out that Department of Government Efficiency is an anagram for Doge, D-O-G, which is Elon Musk's favorite cryptocurrency. So there you go. There's meaning within the meaning. But the point here is using the public to say, such and such a program that my local council is doing, what a waste of money. I mean, I know where we can start in Australia. I can give you a list as long as you like. That's what we do on Outsiders, a list as long as you like, and you do, Andrew, too, of where money is being wasted in this country. Let's do the same thing here. Good on Elon Musk for doing this, because really it does come down to people in the street going, hang on, why is my local council, why is my government spending all this money on that over there? That's what we need to do. Again, it's slaying the woke dragon. And again, Donald Trump wants to... Absolutely. And Donald Trump wants to go to the golf course.
I think it's just brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, I just mentioned at the top of the show, $100 million, Rowan. $100 million this government is going to be spending on buying Aboriginal water from the Murray-Darling. I mean, seriously. Look, you could...
It's insanity.
What you couldn't save if you had the politicians with the courage to do something about it. Rowan Dean, thank you very much for your time.